This mind isn't somewhere outside the material body of four elements: earth, fire, water, and wind. Without this mind, we can't move. The body has no awareness. Like a plant or stone, the body has no nature. So how does it move? It's the mind that moves. Language and behavior, perception and conception are all functions of the moving mind. All motion is the mind's motion. Motion is its function. Apart from motion, there's no mind, and apart from the mind, there's no motion. But motion isn't the mind, and the mind isn't motion. Motion is basically mindless, and the mind is basically motionless. But motion doesn't exist without the mind, and the mind doesn't exist without motion. There's no mind for motion to exist apart from, and no motion for mind to exist apart from. Motion is the mind's function, and its function is its motion. Even so, the mind neither moves nor functions, because the essence of its functioning is emptiness, and emptiness is essentially motionless. Motion is the same as the mind, and the mind is essentially motionless. Hence, the sutras tell us to move without moving, to travel without traveling, to see without seeing, to laugh without laughing, to hear without hearing, to know without knowing, to be happy without being happy, to walk without walking, to stand without standing. And the sutras say, go beyond language, go beyond thought. Basically, seeing, hearing, and knowing are completely empty. Your anger, joy, or pain is like that of a puppet. You can search, but you won't find a thing. According to the sutras, evil deeds result in hardships, and good deeds result in blessings. Angry people go to hell, and happy people go to heaven. But once you know that the nature of anger and joy is empty, and you let them go, you free yourself from karma. If you don't see your nature, quoting sutras is no help. I could go on, but this brief sermon will have to do. What you've just heard is a short excerpt from one of Bodhidharma's sermons. And maybe, as you listened, you felt something very quiet inside you. Not excitement, not entertainment, but a kind of stillness, as if the mind, for just a moment, stopped running. Because Bodhidharma doesn't speak to decorate your thoughts, he speaks to bring you home. Home, not as a place, but as a state of being. A state where you are no longer fighting life. A state where you no longer need to carry the world on your shoulders. We could spend 100 years talking about enlightenment, and still, it would only be words. We can talk about awakening, explain it, analyze it, compare it, and yet still feel tired, still feel restless, still feel anxious. Because no matter how beautiful the explanation is, description is not liberation itself. The truth is, words can point, but they can never replace seeing. They can guide you gently, but you must walk the path with your own awareness. And what is the path? It's much simpler than the mind wants it to be. The path is to return to what is real, to return to this moment, again and again and again. Because what is real is always happening now. Nothing is more important than this moment, because in this moment, you're truly alive. And perhaps you already know this, but most of us have forgotten. We live many years without truly touching life. We live inside memories, inside worries. We live inside things that haven't happened yet, inside thoughts about what should be, instead of resting in what is. And that constant inner noise, it doesn't only exhaust the mind, it exhausts the heart. So when Zen speaks about awakening, It isn't speaking about becoming special. Zen is not asking you to be extraordinary. Zen is asking you to be honest, to be simple, to be present. Because peace is not something you add to your life. Peace is what remains when you stop resisting life. Have you ever noticed something? Some people, after many years, suddenly become quieter. Not because they are cold, not because they've lost love for the world, but because they've stopped arguing with reality. They've seen how much suffering comes from the mind's constant commentary, and so they rest, they soften, they begin to live without unnecessary tension. They no longer feel the need to decorate reality. They no longer need to prove themselves. They no longer need to defend their ego all day long. And something beautiful happens. When the inner fight ends, compassion begins. Because when you stop fighting yourself, you stop needing to fight others. This is why Zen masters can feel so gentle. Even when they speak sharply sometimes, their sharpness is not cruelty. It is medicine. And they speak only when compassion demands it. At that moment, the words are not their words. It is the Dharma speaking through an empty mouth. So this teaching is not here to make you smarter. It is here to make you softer. Not weak, soft, like water. Water doesn't resist. Water doesn't argue. Water simply flows, and yet nothing can defeat it. So let's take this slowly. Let's come back to the body. Right now, just breathe. In and out. In and out. As you breathe, you may notice many things. Thoughts arising, feelings arising, emotions, images, plans, memories, regrets. Maybe even pain in the body. Maybe even heaviness in the chest. Let them come. You don't have to push anything away. Zen is not suppression. Zen is deep allowance. And now, notice something more subtle. All these things move, but something in you is simply watching. Something quiet. Something clear. That watcher does not panic. That watcher does not rush. That watcher is already free. This is what Bodhidharma is pointing toward. Not an idea, not a belief, but direct experience. Now. He says, your original mind, your Buddha mind, is not somewhere far away. It's not hidden in another world. It's not waiting for you at the end of a long spiritual journey. No. Your original, unborn mind is not elsewhere. It is not separate from this physical body, this breath, this heartbeat, this life. This is very comforting when you truly understand it, because it means you don't need to escape your life in order to awaken. You don't need to reject your body. You don't need to reject your emotions. You don't need to reject your human experience. Instead, you learn to see clearly. You learn to stop clinging. You learn to stop being dragged around. Bodhidharma says, without this mind, we can't move. Meaning, without awareness, this body is just matter. Earth, water, fire, and wind. It can be warm, it can have shape, but it has no inner light. So the true miracle is not the body. The true miracle is awareness itself. Then he says, language and behavior, perception, and conception are all functions of the moving mind. This is so gentle and so deep. He's saying everything you experience, speech, manners, emotions, perception, thought, all of it is mind in motion. Even your personality, even the you that you believe you are, is mostly a collection of patterns, repeating patterns, old habits, old conditioning, old wounds. And this is not meant to shame you. It is meant to free you. Because if it is merely movement, then it is not who you truly are. A wave is not the ocean. A cloud is not the sky. A thought is not awareness. An emotion is not the Buddha mind. So yes, anger may arise. Fear may arise. Sadness may arise. Joy may arise. But all of them are like weather. They come, they change, they pass. Try to locate anger's substance. Try to find sadness's solid core. Try to hold joy in your hands. You cannot, because they are empty in nature. Not meaningless, but empty of fixed self. This is why Bodhidharma says, seeing, hearing, and knowing are completely empty. He is not saying you are dead inside. He is saying, do not cling. Do not turn life into a prison. Do not take every inner movement as me. He says, evil deeds result in hardships. Good deeds result in blessings. Yes, actions create consequences. What you plant, you will taste. But then he adds something liberating. Once you know that the nature of anger and joy is empty, you free yourself from karma. What does this mean? It means karma is strongest when you cling, when you identify, when you become possessed by the moving mind. But when you see clearly, when you stop clinging, the chain is broken. You still act kindly. You still take responsibility. But you are no longer trapped. This is the heart of compassion. Not only compassion for others, but compassion for yourself. Because many people suffer from one hidden habit. They blame themselves for having thoughts. They blame themselves for having emotions. They blame themselves for being human. Zen says, no. Let thoughts arise. Let emotions arise. Just don't hold them. Just don't become them. So now, don't store this teaching as knowledge. Don't turn it into another interesting idea. Instead, test it. Gently. Kindly. Right now. Where is your mind? Is it moving? Can you see the movement? Thoughts, images, planning, remembering, judging. Now ask, who is aware of that? Do you feel it? That awareness is not moving at all. The clouds move, but the sky does not. Rest as the sky. And in that resting, a very quiet healing begins. Because the nervous system starts to settle, the heart starts to soften, the mind starts to unclench. You may still have problems, but inside, you are not imprisoned. And this is why Zen is not meant to entertain you. Zen is meant to relieve you. Zen is meant to return your life to you, not in tomorrow, not in theory, but now. So as we close, Please remember, you don't need to become someone else. You don't need to be perfect. You don't need to force awakening. Just practice returning. Returning to breath. Returning to the body. Returning to awareness. Again and again. Like coming home after a long journey. If you want, leave a comment below. Which line from Bodhidharma touched you the most? And if you stayed until the end, thank you. Not for watching the video, but for giving your heart a quiet moment of rest. So when you feel overwhelmed, when you feel tired, when you feel lost, come back. Not to ideas, not to words, but to this breath, to this awareness, to this moment. Because the Buddha mind is not elsewhere. It is here, and it has never left you. I'll see you in the next video.